I think that here we are 3+ years later. People are looking at what you've done and they're going, man, Matt was so smart to do this.
What, get fired?
I think after the getting fired part.
Sure.
But so smart to like rebrand yourself the way that you did.
Had to do it.
I don't imagine that this came easily.
Listen, this wasn't this master plan like, ooh, how can I reinvent myself? I knew I had to. And like I said, when I got fired, it was the pandemic. There was really nothing going on. Had the cup of coffee in AEW. That didn't work out. But then like, okay, so I'm Matt Cardona, but who is Matt Cardona? Even I didn't know that. And even when I was in WWE towards the end, I dropped the headband, dropped the glasses, dropped the woo-woo, but I don't think people really recognize that, because I wasn't really featured that much on TV, which is fine.
Yeah.
But now everything was in my control. But you can't just turn heel on the indies. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be a different character one day. It's not going to work. So it was that death match with Nick Gage that really was the catalyst, the snowball that I needed that changed not just my career, but changed my life.
Whose idea was it to even do that?
So John Carlo, my friend John Carlo, who was working for GCW at the time, worked for WWE, now works for AEW. Awesome dude. He pitched it to me. I said, absolutely fucking not. I am not wrestling. This Nick Gage was just on Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
Right? He almost killed David Arquette in the ring. Criminal.
He almost died himself as well.
Drug addict. I'm not wrestling this guy. And then I took a step back and said, wait a minute. People are going to watch this. People are going to talk about this. They're going to want to see Zack Ryder get carved up by Nick Gage. And I said, let's do it. And it was only a 3-shot deal, 3 shows. Go in, attack Nick Gage, have the match, and then the 1 show after. But I think we changed independent wrestling. I say we because without GCW, GCW needed to be GCW. I needed to be me. Nick Gage needed to be Nick Gage. We just needed all those ingredients. You know what I'm saying? And like that night, if you really look at it, it's an independent show in Atlantic City, New Jersey. But it trended #1 over the UFC pay-per-view that night and the Olympics, which is nuts. And we captured, lightning in a bottle. You hear that expression all the time. We had it, and I just ran with it.
And people legitimately hated you in GCW. I feel like they still kind of do.
Yeah, but that's what I needed because it bled into other indies where I'd go out 25%. Other fans, fuck you. Then 50%, then 70%, now 100%. We talked about this earlier. There are definitely some WWE fans who come up to me now like, what do you do these days? Like, thinking I just retired. But if you're in the indie scene, if you're a fan of independent wrestling, like, Zack Ryder's fucking dead,